I said it on yesterday's episode of Locked on USC. When I say it's Notre Dame week, you respond with, fight on, beat the Irish. MVP 3 is back, Marvin Powell III. He has some skin in this game, left some blood on the turf. And we're also going to talk about this. Is this a playoff elimination game? Let's talk USC versus Notre Dame. Beat the Irish.
You are Locked on USC, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Culkin, and thanks for having Marvin Powell III. He's back again. Thanks for making Locked on USC part of the Locked on Network, your first listen every day. Whether you're watching the show on YouTube, wherever you want to listen to this podcast, this show is free. Download it on any platform you want. It'll be there for you, and the show is always going to appreciate your support. Excuse me. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers right now, if you can bet $5, and if that first $5 bet wins, you're getting $300 that you can use across the entire FanDuel app. Download the FanDuel app today. All right, so this is USC versus Notre Dame. I mean, it's that time of the year, man. Marvin, I love this game. The emotion, the passion. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming for me. I mean, look, you have 55-24 back in 1974. Number 1 versus number 2 in 1988. Sigh. That was a game that really broke my heart. Mark Cusano bringing me to my knees in tears. 1996. Then watching Lou Holtz leave as a loser. 4th and 9. The Bush push. The same game. You have all the Heisman moments in this series. Let me set this up. I just want people to really understand how important this game is. There was a gentleman who used to play for the Trojans back in the day. His name was Marv Goo. Wasn't the biggest guy, but he was an animal. He loved this game more than anything else. It was his life. Marv Goo was Mr. Trojan. I mean, he used to tell the players the story of, how he lost his chance to continue playing football during his career when his back and hip got twisted into a pretzel playing in this game. And he used to tell a story to the USC teams. I'm just going to read an excerpt from it. I mean, hopefully you'll feel the emotion. I'll do my best. So you have to read the whole story, but this is the final stanza in the story. To set it up, he basically has the entire USC team following him around on the field. All right. And he's kind of just looking around in the end zone. He's scratching around at the grass, pawing at it with his feet. He goes, where is that spot? Where is it? He has to find it. I mean, he's like a man possessed. And then all of a sudden, his head rose up. There won't be anything left here when we're done. At which point the entire team exploded. They got me, but they're not going to get you. They effed me right here, but they're not going to F you. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, we wake as one. Tomorrow, take the body. Tomorrow, each day and every man on this team will attack his opponent in a way that he's never seen before. Tomorrow, we are relentless. Tomorrow, we play the most powerful brand of football we've ever seen. Tomorrow, we are devastating. Play after play, every man until the final whistle. We're not even going to look up at the scoreboard during the game. If I see any man looking up at the scoreboard, I'll kill him. F the score. We came here for more than that. Tomorrow, we take a program's heart and we tear it into pieces with our own hands. Tomorrow, we play with pride and dignity. Every day, every player on the field for Notre Dame gets knocked to the ground. All of them, every play. Then you reach down, you help them back up. That's who we are. Tomorrow we play like men. Tomorrow we play like Trojans. Marv Goo liked to call this rivalry big man on big man football. You played in this game. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you walk through the USC's practice field, Howard Jones Field, you tap in at Marv Goo Gate. I've talked enough. Tell everybody what this game means to you, why it's so important.
Listen, let me tell you first. Everything you're saying about Marv Goo is absolutely correct and real. I grew up listening to my father telling me stories about how crazy he was, about how amazing he was too, and how much the players loved him. My father used to always tell me how this guy used to eat steak out the pack raw, and that was normal, and that's just how he rolled. But he is a Trojan, and he's one of the guys that got the team fired up. He was an energy guy, you'd call him, an energy guy, if you will, a culture guy. But he absolutely is a Trojan. And if he's not, he should be in the Hall of Fame. I believe he actually is. Isn't he, Mark? In the Hall of Fame, Marv Goo?
USC Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's definitely on that Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Sure. With that said, I'm the kid who grew up, as a youngster, listening to my dad tell me about the 1974 game when they were down 24-6 at halftime. And by the end of the game, the whole Traveler almost passed out because he couldn't get around the tracks as many times as they were scoring. They came out with an offensive explosion in the second half of 74 to win that game. And I heard my dad tell me that story at least 20 times from the time I was young until he passed away. It was a very proud moment for him. I came to USC because I wanted to beat Notre Dame. I came to USC because I wanted to play Notre Dame. I have nothing but the ultimate respect for their school, for their culture, for their program. They are one of the pillars, no doubt. And that's why I loved beating them 3 times in my 4 years at USC. When I got to SC, I was a part of that the losing streak going in. We were the number 1 team in the nation by Sports Illustrated in '95. Keyshawn was our star. We went to South Bend 5-0. We lost. Obviously, we fell from number 1. But the next year, '96, one of my roommates, Mark Casano, batted down a ball at the end of the game for us to end the streak and win the game. And then from there, we won 3 straight. And I believe it was Lou Holtz's last regular season game was a loss to USC in the Coliseum. And it was a glorious day. Listen, the fact that there's even a conversation about this game not being played just makes me upset, to be honest with you. We are who we are, and Notre Dame's a part of that. And they're a part of our culture. They're a part of our identity. Playing them is a part of who we are and what we look forward to. It is the biggest game on our schedule. It's the biggest intersexual rivalry in the nation. That's a very real thing. And you're looking at 2 pillars of the game go at it. And it's a great game. And, it's something that it means something to everybody who went to USC, who went to the games. Because if you went to SC, if you're an SC fan and you followed this since the 70s, the 80s, Bush push. I mean, you understand how real this is. So this game for us is not just big for what we want to do, big picture. It's part of our culture and it's what we need.
Yeah, like I said, I remember that '96 game. I remember USC having a 13-game winless streak. When Cusano jumped up and knocked down that Ron Palos pass, I fell to my knees. I started crying like a baby.
Yeah.
That's how much I needed that win. It's the emotion that just overflowed. I still get verklempt when I talk about it, thinking about all those USC Notre Dame games. I encourage everybody, go read that story. Marv Goo, Mr. Trojan, and the way he felt about this game. Because I didn't do it justice. But if you read it from beginning to end, and it's about a 5 to 10 minute read, but it grabs you, and you understand why this game is so important. Like I said, you left some skin. You've got skin in this game. You left blood in the turf. This game, for whatever reason, you hit the other team harder. They say it. There's nothing worse than losing to UCLA, but there's nothing better than beating Notre Dame. Because it's one blue blood beating another. There's 22 national championships between these 2 programs, 15 Heismans. USC has 8. Mm-hmm. All the All-Americans, the Hall of Famers, the NFL draft picks.
Yeah.
This game alone has, again, no other game compares to it. Not the Red River Shootout, not Oklahoma, Texas, not Alabama, Auburn, not Michigan, Ohio State. This is USC, West Coast. This is Notre Dame, Midwest, blue-collar football. And it's a clash of cultures. And that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. When you look at, all the metrics that USC is number 1 in regards to, number 1 overall picks, NFL draft picks, stuff like that. Notre Dame is right there on that list with us. In NFL Hall of Famers, we're tied number one with 14 each. That's significant. In a country where we've had so many blue blood and so many amazing college programs and teams. USC Notre Dame leads all colleges with NFL Hall of Famers. That's a big deal, and in many other metrics. I mean, listen, we've had great All-Americans, Heisman Trophy winners, great championship teams. They have too. And again, it's even though we are the better university in regards to overall athletics and academics, they're up there. They are, and beating them is our pleasure. It's what makes us feel good. And I look forward to doing this again this week.
Absolutely. Marv Goose said it best. You're going to punch them, you're going to hit them in the body, but then you're going to pick them up. That's all about respect. Let's go fight man on big man football. Mm-hmm. Let's hurt each other, but let's make sure you pick the other man up, dust him off, say, let's do it again.
It's a no mercy sport, Mark. It's a no mercy situation. That's what it's a no mercy mentality, and that's what it is.
It's last man standing, and I cannot tell you, I'm looking forward to this 96th meeting. USC needs to get that. They need to get that win on the road. And, we're going to talk about this in the next segment. This might have a playoff feel to it. One of these teams cannot lose and still anticipate going to the playoffs at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that next. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today, and you'll see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. With over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business to choose from, the real-time inventory and the honest lead times keeps you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts fast for a project? SupplyHouse has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer right there. Plus, their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process a whole lot smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHColleges, college5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. The show is also brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, the NFL season's here, and FanDuel's making an offer that makes you want to jump in right away. I mean, it's a can't-miss offer. As I said, new customers, if you got $5 and that $5 bet wins, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets. You can use across the app. You can start betting on the Super Bowl if you want. You're going to love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player prop bets. You can build a same game parlay. You can even jump into the action live as it's unfolding. So you're ready to play. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, Marvin. So College Football News wrote this. Welcome to College Football Playoff, at least when it comes to an elimination moment. Nothing is given, of course, but Notre Dame has to win out, and this is their last likely chance at a third loss. So let me just remind everybody, Notre Dame opened the season with a brutal 2-game stretch on the road at Miami, and then they hosted Texas A&M. They lost both of those games. They're close, but USC understands what it feels like to lose close games. So Notre Dame opened the season 0-2. Since then, they've taken out Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, North Carolina State. Those are woodshed games. Notre Dame looks really, really, really good right now. I'll say this, Purdue did put 30 points on them, so we'll see what USC can do. But USC is 5-1. They just got done taking the Wolverines behind the woodshed. A loss to Notre Dame for USC, it would suck, but it doesn't eliminate USC from the playoff picture yet.
Right. Yeah.
Homers.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the back half of our schedule, we play ranked teams, we play relevant teams, we play teams where if we win all those games, then at that point we should be looked at as one of the top 12 teams in the country without question. So, this is must win for Notre Dame. They played 2 quality opponents. They are battle tested in the trenches because A&M and the Miami Hurricanes are very good up front at the O-line and D-line. So Notre Dame's been through the fire already. They've played elite talent up front already. So I mean, for us, what it really is going to come down to, I mean, we're going to have to focus on protecting Jaden. And Mark, hold on, I don't want to get away from your main question.
So here's the main question.
Yeah.
USC, again, I'm not trying to say that USC can afford to lose this game.
Gotcha. Okay, right. Yeah, it's must win. It's must win for Notre Dame. For
Right.
us, we have one loss. It's looking like it's and I hate to say it, a good loss because Illinois is going to probably win a few more games, which is good for us. But this is the next team, and every team we've played from the very beginning is better than the last team. This is no different. Notre Dame is going to be a better version of Michigan, I think. And for us, it's a game that we want to win. It's a game that we should win. It's a game that I expect to win. But the reality is, God forbid the unthinkable happened, we still have opportunity to have life for our season and still keep our goals realistic. So, yeah, Notre Dame, for them, they have to win this game because even though you will see a 3-loss team in the playoffs at some point moving forward, I don't think it's going to be this year.
Not with a 12-team field, it won't. When you get to 16 teams, absolutely.
Right.
So with that being said, when you have that kind of pressure on you, it's obviously it's how you let that pressure get to you. But will that be too much for their freshman quarterback? We know that Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, they're good running backs. They're gonna Notre Dame's gonna run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this though, they just lost their starting center.
Big deal. It's a big deal.
Huge deal. Lincoln Riley brought that up. I mean, he doesn't. People don't understand how fortunate USC is to have Ja'Onre Reed backing up Killian O'Connor. He's got 25, 26, 27 now games of starting experience. So
right. And to your point, don't forget when no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say USC has to exploit that. They have to be able to put all the pressure on CJ Carr.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, that they're gonna run the ball. You can't allow them to get those big splash explosive plays. If Love gets 2 or 3 10 12 yard carries during the game, that's fine. You can't allow him to get those 30 40 50 yard touchdown runs,
right? Because
now all of a sudden CJ Carr is feeling a lot more comfortable back there. So we're going to talk more about this in the third segment. But being it's a playoff implication for Notre Dame, can a freshman quarterback harness that type of energy, that pressure, whatever you want to call it, and be able to lead the team if USC is focused on stopping the run?
Yeah, I mean, again, at this point, this kid's battle tested. He's been through the fire already. They've already played tough games on the road, tough games at home, and when you're a freshman, I mean, obviously you have big eyes, but when you're 6 games in, that's a long time. He's already had a lot of reps. So already in 6 games, the game is slowing down for him. It is. And again, he's played elite talent. So you're right. We can't let this kid get off because the kid is talented. He can play. When you look at their offense, they distribute the ball kind of like we do throwing the ball. If you look at their top 4 receivers, it's receiver, tight end, receiver, running back, which means he's spreading it out, making you cover that entire field. They have a veteran offensive line, a good offensive line. They're missing their center. And as you said, they have Jeremiah Love, who is absolutely going to be a top pick in the draft. This kid is explosive. He is powerful. He's the real deal. And I mean, we're gonna have to. We'll talk about it in the next segment, but we're gonna have to deal with this guy.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're gonna talk about it in the next segment. But if I'm USC, I'm thinking, all right, we have to play honest on deep. We have to play honest defense. We can't just sell out against the run because CJ Carr is very accurate. He's got some on the outside to work with. Mm-hmm. And USC secondary is still coming together, I guess. Look, positions. Safety, I think they're strong up the middle.
His numbers are very similar to Miami.
Yes, absolutely.
Very similar. So that should tell our fans something right there. They're similar numbers. I think Miami has the edge. He does. Passer ratings. I think touchdowns is tied. I think Miami has a few more yards. but their numbers are very similar in regards to touchdowns and interceptions. I think they're identical, actually.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a fun X's and O chess match type of thing. Against Michigan, and again, Notre Dame and Michigan are very similar. As you just said, though, Notre Dame probably has better athletes on the outside, more tools to work with than Bryce Underwood had right now at Michigan. But it's seeing Eric Gentry lining up in the slot. They gave more of a 4-3 look.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get creative like that. Right. I think we're going to see more of that in this game. We'll see if Notre Dame can exploit that.
Yeah, I mean, so imagine Michigan if they had a pass game. That's what Notre Dame is, to be honest with you. Right. Listen, at the end of the day, Notre Dame's coming at us with the same running mentality as Michigan. So, I mean, thank God we dealt with that this week, and we know what it looks like, because we're going to have that same running attack and a same animal on Saturday. Difference here is their quarterback is very talented. I think he's very talented. I think he's had a good year. I think he's getting better, getting more confident. And I think he's going to be much more of a problem than Bryce Underwood was. I'll tell you that.
I agree with you. And plus, Notre Dame's playing at home,
right?
And it doesn't matter who's. Usually, when Notre Dame's playing at home, they win. But when USC travels to Notre Dame, weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they can't grow the grass long anymore, but weird stuff still happens all the time in this game. So I think one of the keys, and we'll talk about this coming up next, is who makes the fewest mistakes. That's going to be a big difference in this game. One more segment to go. It's coming up. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, and that's because Mazda has more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else as of August 2025. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to the available Napa leather upholstery. And here's another great feature and benefit. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through most any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Yeah, my tongue got a little twisted there, but check out Mazda. Good stuff. All right, our friends over at FanDuel, Marvin, have the Trojans as 9.5-point dogs. I think the line opened up at 8.5, and it's.
I thought it was at 7.5, and then 8.5.
Regardless, it's moving in the wrong direction with the confidence level in USC.
Yeah, well, you know what that is. I mean, they want to see us do it on the road, number one, and then we lost a couple running backs, and that's
I was just going to say, I think a lot of this has to do with no Waymon Jordan, no Eli Sanders, so that must mean that USC has no chance, right? Like we were just talking about it a few minutes ago. How does USC stop Love and Price and make CJ Carr feel the weight of the world? How do they make that happen?
Okay. So defensively, I think we have to have a bend but don't break mentality, because they're going to make plays. I think that they run the ball better than Michigan, and I know that they pass it better than Michigan. So that's how I look at this thing. Well, we can't have Love do to us what King did to Michigan and just run through us all day long. Okay. For us defensively, it is bend, don't break. They will make plays. Their receivers are better than Michigan's receivers. They use their tight ends. They use their running backs in the pass game as well. And we're going to have to cover that whole field. This would be a much bigger challenge than Michigan. But again, just like with Michigan, I know Marsh made a couple plays, but still, it was really a bend, don't break mentality. We can't have that consistent, gashing in the run game, breakaway. We can't have that. So if we can keep Love, I think Love is like at 5.5 yards a carry, somewhere around there. If we can keep him around 4, which was my number for Justin Hayes, if we can keep him around 4, I think we could do well against them. And then you want me to get on offense as well?
Well, I was just going to bring this point up. Especially if we want to talk about USC's offense. So in Notre Dame's first 2 games that they lost, their defense only generated 1 turnover.
Mm-hmm.
They've won their last 4 games, and now they have 11, including 7. They created 7 turnovers in the last 2 games.
Right.
We know what happened last year with a couple pick sixes late in the game on our end. For me, this comes down to, can USC just protect the ball? Last week, they had a couple turnovers. Fortunately, they didn't come back to hurt USC. And here's another thing they have to continue to do. Make it 2 games in a row. No penalties on defense.
Right.
And not allow Notre Dame to keep drives alive. You can't help them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And on the road, we might not get that same love, So it's realistic that, our young DBs on the road, first time in South Bend or whatever, maybe for some of them, you may get a little extra physical and pulley. I don't know, but that home field advantage is a real thing. I attribute a lot of it to our discipline and what our coaches do on defense, but there's a benefit to playing at home. So hopefully that we travel well with the right mentality.
Here's another thing to keep in mind: the elements. Supposed to be raining for game day.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Does that help either team?
Without question, Notre Dame. It does. It benefits Notre Dame. They're playing in their normal environment. So whatever the weather is, it's like that every other day. They're used to playing. Seriously, they're used to playing. Rains today. Just rain tomorrow.
USC hung around forever waiting for that thunder and lightning and rain to go away.
Yeah. Listen, the weather isn't going to be a factor for us. Our guys won't be using that as an excuse. Believe me, that won't be allowed to be an excuse. And regardless of where the conditions are, it's the same condition for them as well, for Notre Dame as well, even though they get to practice in that. But that's not it. This comes down to the trenches, y'all. This comes down to the trenches. This comes down to, again, bend, don't break, and protect our quarterback and be able to run that ball the way we need to. It being a little drizzle. I think in the 70s, that's relevant.
Sure. Well, I don't know if God's looking out right now for USC. We all know God's a Trojan. It's been raining this week while they've been practicing. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Just putting that out there. Maybe God's helping USC get prepared for this game. Just saying. Yeah.
But they do the wet ball drills. They have the buckets of water on the field. You take the ball, you dump it in a bucket of water, then you give it to the center, and that's how they practice. That's just what they do. So they're doing wet ball stuff regardless of whether it's raining in LA or not. They're preparing for the rain in some capacity.
So here's how I see USC winning this game. One, I think Antonlynn, he's going to get creative. He's going to try and exploit that new center job that Notre Dame has to worry about. He was a highly rated recruit coming out of high school, but he's facing a USC defense and a defensive line that's been getting after it. I mean, USC's got 21 sacks, leading the country. Yeah,
5.
One of the top teams in the country for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They had their way with Michigan. I mean, USC owned the trenches last week.
They did.
I think a little, maybe a step up, not a big difference, but if USC can control the trenches again, 3 sacks, 8 to 10 quarterback pressures, as I said earlier, no penalties or limit your penalties, play disciplined. I can see USC winning this game. I don't know if it's going to be. I know it's going to be a close game. I don't know if it's going to be a low-scoring game. I got USC going 38-34. What about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking more 35-34. I think to me, this is kind of like Michigan. I see it has the potential to be close just because of the style of play. But right. I also thought that our offense, which hasn't been stopped all year, even in a loss, we put up 32 points and scored when we had to. So for us, for as much as we need our defense to show up and our defense to travel and our defense to don't break, we need our offense to do what it's done all year, and that's be aggressive and score pretty much at will and put all kind of pressure on that defense to force them to protect the entire field. That's really what it comes down to for us, is the offense being consistent like it's been, because again, at this point, we rightfully believe it is an elite offense and one of the better offenses in college football. That's what the numbers say. And we've done big things against everybody we've played offensively. So as long as the offense shows up, then we really have a shot. Obviously, the biggest concern there, which I'm not concerned about, is our depth at running back. But again, listen, Brian Jackson, people forget Brian Jackson came into the the season as one of the premier backs in the conference. He was looked at as, coming out of LSU game. So we have him, and then we know what the home run hitter, King Miller, what he's about. So, what's it like to play at the number one position versus being a backup? That's something, going in as the number one guy. But King being a second-year freshman, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, look, I think this is why Notre Dame is considered a 9.5-point favorite. USC is playing their first game without Waymon Jordan and Eli Sanders together. They're going to be reliant upon a second-year player. His name's King Miller. He's going to be given a scholarship once he's eligible for one. Coach Riley made that very clear. It's not going to be long. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when it happens. And then Brian Jackson, he's coming back from that turf toe. Those guys can get the job done. The challenge or the issue becomes if one of them goes down to injury, then where do you turn? Where do you go? So Lincoln Riley's going to have to get into his bag of tricks. He's been great so far play calling. Mm-hmm. He's been doing a lot of good things. You've got your tight ends involved. We know what Makai Lemon and what Jacoby Lang can do. We've seen Jaden Mayaba make some beautiful throws. If the running game holds up and USC's defensive line and their defense plays with the same energy, same effort that they played last week at home against Michigan, yeah, I think USC might be better than Notre Dame offensively, even on the road.
Yeah,
but I agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this comes down to, can USC control the line of scrimmage? If they do what they did last week against Michigan, I think Price and Love will get more yards than 109 combined.
Mm-hmm.
But I said this to you last week. Now I'll just say it again. If USC can keep Notre Dame at 150, 160 yards on the ground, that's advantage USC. If Notre Dame's running for 200 plus, it's going to be a long day.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. I do.
All right. Well, there you go. We got our picks in. I got us by 38-34. Marvin's going 35-34. Means it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be one of those classic USC versus Notre Dame. Hopefully it's not the last one, but hopefully this will be the one where USC's bringing that Jules Shillelagh back home. Maybe that'll be enough incentive for Notre Dame to say, we'll play it when you need to play it.
Yeah, listen, and for as good as Notre Dame is, and I think they're a good team, they have not seen an offense like ours. I mean, they haven't. They have not seen what we got under. They have not seen what we got under the hood. They have not. Yeah, I mean,
this game's so intriguing. Mm-hmm. USC has not played a team like Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame has not played a team like USC. It's got all the stylings for a matchup.
Hey, Mark, there will be blood. There will be blood.
Cannot wait. We're just a few days away. Marvin, thanks again for doing this, man. We'll have you back on. You know the schedule now. All right. That's it for this episode of Locked on USC. Once again, when you're done making Locked on USC your first listen every day, do not forget, we got the Big Ten show with Craig Sheeman. You can catch that on YouTube as well, Locked on Big Ten. And then when you're all done with the Locked on Network, get on over there to wearesc.com. So much great content. Scott Schrader has just got recruiting updates all over the place. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Until that next episode, everyone, which will be tomorrow, you know what to do.
Fight on, y'all.
Beat the Irish.
Beat the hell out of them.
There you go.